welcome to Think About Thursday on a Friday. The problem with having Think About Thursday on a Friday is that I think to myself, oh, it's Thursday, good, I've still got another day in the week to get through that list of things that I want to get through before the end of the week. And then I realised, no, actually, because I decided to make Think About Thursday on Friday, in fact, I only have a few hours to get through the list of things on my weekly list. So that's okay. That happens. Thank you. I appreciate your flexibility in allowing me to shift to Friday this week. Yesterday, there was a lot going on, and I thought if I want to do this justice and give you a decent, valuable Facebook Live, then I needed to switch it over to Friday. And you look, I forgot to bring my water in. We're nothing if not flexible, right? And flexibility is the key to a successful life, maybe. I just made that up. For me it is. I think flexibility is very important. Anyone who has a job, a family, a busy life, we all know flexibility is important. But I digress. That's not what I'm here to talk about. If you are watching live, please do a hello in the comments. It's lovely to have you. If you are watching on replay, #replay. That just pushes it back up the feed so other people who've missed it and are interested can jump on and have a look as well. All right, so today we're talking about teenagers in particular, some of their frustrations, but more importantly, I thought I'll just give you a few tips on what I would consider to be my top recommendations, food-wise, nutrient-wise, to help with common teenage problems. So we'll keep it fairly short and sweet today. First one, period pain. If you have a child struggling with lots of period pain, a couple of things you can try to help. Boost up their oily fish intake in the lead up to their period if they are fish eaters, which I know not everybody is, myself included. So therefore, you can always get a good quality fish oil and boost that up, particularly in that week leading up to your period. That can actually, it just helps reduce inflammation and so therefore can help reduce period pain. Magnesium also is quite a good supplement for helping reduce period cramps. So you can pick up magnesium from health food stores, from chemists. Just check which one they recommend would be the best one for your child, bearing in mind any other medications or so on that they may be on. The best absorbed forms of magnesium are citrate or glycinate. So go for one of those. Powder, tablet, doesn't really matter, whatever's going to work. But magnesium can actually have a really nice calming effect and can help reduce some of those cramps as well. Please don't get me wrong, I am not averse to if they need some Nurofen or some Ponstan or something like that to help get through, then absolutely, I don't want to see anyone suffer. It is important to know though that really bad doubled over in pain, period pain is not normal. Some cramps are normal, most people get some cramps. But if your child, or if you're a teenager watching this, is doubled over in agony and really struggling and, hanging out for that next, when can I take the next painkiller, something needs to be looked into. So please keep that in the back of your mind as well. So that's period pain. I'm jumping around here just because I literally just did a brain dump of information. So I might play around with it to just to make it flow a little bit more, a little bit better. So PMS, since we're talking about periods, let's jump onto PMS. PMS, particularly in teenage years, well, I suppose as we get older as well in perimenopause, it can vary from month to month. Obviously, PMS can be impacted by what's going on in our lives, by our stress levels, whether or not we're on holidays, but it can also be impacted significantly by what we're eating. So there's a few different types of PMS or premenstrual syndrome. It may be that you struggle with irritability, or that you just get really tired, or that you get depressed, or maybe you fluctuate between all of those. There's no right or wrong when it comes to premenstrual syndrome. It is what it is. It's the result of fluctuating hormones, and particularly during teenage years, it takes a little while for hormones to settle into a regular rhythm. So it can vary quite drastically from one month to the next. Important things that can help with premenstrual syndrome include foods that are high in magnesium. So that's spinach, your dark leafy greens, your nuts and seeds, pumpkin seeds particularly good. They're a good source of zinc as well, which is really important for ovulatory health. So if you can get your teenagers eating pumpkin seeds on a regular basis, that's great. Dark chocolate is a nice source of magnesium as well. So foods high in magnesium can help with PMS, as can actually an Epsom salts or a magnesium flakes bath. That would be nice and calming and soothing, and the magnesium would get absorbed through the skin. So remind your teenager that it's okay to go and take a nice long soaking bath and to feel relaxed there as well if they're struggling a bit with PMS. And again, deep sea oily fish is, as it is for period pain, is also can be quite useful for premenstrual syndrome, particularly if they're tending towards the depressive side of things. Studies have actually shown that people with depression have lower levels of omega-3 fatty acids, and those are the fatty acids that we find in our deep sea fish, such as salmon. So if you can boost up their fish intake, that will be helpful, or go for a fish oil supplement if they're not big fish eaters as well. So that was period pain, PMS. Let's just talk about mood briefly, because we know that all of our teenagers can go through some moody stages whilst they're navigating their body changes, their hormonal changes, working out how they can be more independent, stepping away from their family, but still needing that safety net of the family. So moodiness obviously comes and goes. Now, teenagers can get drawn into the web of living on carbs. They just want the quick sandwich, or they want the junk food, or they want the chips or the biscuits or the crackers, or super quick and easy food. My teenagers are no exception to that. They love their carbs. The thing is, if they're not getting enough protein, they're not getting the amino acids that you need to build neurotransmitters, and neurotransmitters include things like serotonin and dopamine, which are our feel-good neurotransmitters. So if you have a teenager or a child, it doesn't need to be a teenager, but anyone who's not getting a lot of protein throughout the day, then they might be moody. Because they don't have the physical building blocks for those neurotransmitters that help them to feel better. So take a look at what they're eating across the whole day. General rule of thumb, just really broad rule of thumb, you need 1 gram of protein per kilo of body weight at a minimum. So just take a look at what they're eating across the course of the day. As for the most part in Western society, it's pretty hard to be protein deficient because we have easy access to it available. Easy access available, that's not particularly well put, but you know what I mean. There's plenty of protein options available. However, if people are making choices just to eat really quick and easy food and snacks and not getting enough protein across the course of the day, then yes, protein deficiencies can and do occur. So it's important to look at the whole pattern of what they're eating over a day or two and make sure that they are getting enough of that protein. And good quality protein sources include meats, include eggs, nuts, seeds, fish, cheese, yogurt, beans, legumes, lentils, things like that, tofu, tempeh. So there's plenty of options available. It's just a matter of reminding the kids that life is not necessarily just about a bowl of cereal for breakfast, a Vegemite sandwich for lunch, a handful of crackers for afternoon tea, and I don't know, some hot chips for dinner. I know you're not feeding your kids hot chips for dinner every night, but I know also that some kids would happily live on a diet like that. So protein, important for neurotransmitters. In particular, tryptophan is one of our key amino acids that we need to make serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone. And you can find tryptophan in turkey, in peanuts, and in quinoa, amongst other things. So just keep that in the back of your mind as well. Now, I thought I would mention it's really important for our teenagers to have a healthy gut, because our most of our immune system or our immune cells, our virus-fighting cells and so on, white blood cells, the immune proteins are made in our gut, 80% of them made in our gut. So we need a healthy gut so that we can do that. What creates a healthy gut? Lots of fresh fruit and vegetables, where we're giving lots of fiber to feed that good healthy gut microbiome, and yogurt with some lovely probiotics. And if you can mix up the types of yogurts that you have so that you're getting different strains of probiotics, then that's even better. And if you can get your kids to eat sauerkraut, then lovely, because again, you're getting different versions of probiotics there as well. Kombucha is not a bad option also. So there's plenty of options for foods with live bacteria in them that can help foster a healthy gut environment, and then support that by having lots of fresh fruit and vegetables if you can get your teenager to do that. The last thing I wanted to talk about is skin, because we know that during teenage years, when there's lots of hormone fluctuations, and in particular an increase in androgens, which is the sex hormones, they can stimulate the glands under our skin to create more oil, and that can then contribute to the excess acne that sometimes, or that often happens for teenagers. It doesn't happen to all of them, but it does happen to a lot of teenagers, and they can go through phases with it. So we need to be supporting their skin health and supporting their gut health whilst their hormones fluctuate, to try and minimize this for them. And the ways to do that, once again, we come back to that oily fish, because of the omega-3 fatty acids, really important for our overall skin health and our hormone health. Zinc is really important for hormone production, for skin health, for immune function, for our appetite, for stomach acid production, so that we can actually absorb the protein that gives us the zinc. Everything's connected. So zinc, good sources of zinc, I think I mentioned it already, but pumpkin seeds, nuts, seeds in general, and meat, all really good sources of zinc. If you have a teenager who's really, really struggling with bad acne, you might want to consider a little experiment. Cut out cow's milk for a little while, because it can just further exacerbate the inflammation. There's a biochemical pathway that it goes down that can contribute to that excess production of oil, which then gets inflamed and creates the acne. Doesn't necessarily happen for every single child. So I say you can try an experiment. If you do that, make sure, if you are substituting the cow's milk with a plant-based milk, make sure it's a calcium fortified one, so that you're not limiting their access to calcium. I have seen a lot of good success with my son in particular when we took him off cow's milk and I switched him to goat's milk. It doesn't have the same protein that stimulates the oil production as the cow's milk does, and also worked with him on a very specific strain of probiotic, and we've had some really good results with that. So if you're struggling with that, certainly reach out, get in touch with me. You can book a free call anytime to have a chat to see what's going on. Vitamin A, really important for skin health, and you find vitamin A in eggs amongst other things, and vitamin C also super important for skin health. Vitamin C is found in lots of different things, which I'm sure you're aware of, but my top favourites are citrus fruits, berries, capsicum, particularly red and yellow capsicum, kiwi fruit, particularly kiwi gold is a good source of vitamin C, but kiwi green is as well. Broccoli, leafy greens, also good sources of vitamin C. That's it for today. As I said, fairly short and sweet. Just wanted to give you a few different tips. If you have any questions at all, please throw them in the comments or shoot me a message. I don't mind. As I mentioned, if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay, and have a wonderful weekend. I look forward to seeing you all next week, when I should be able to go back to Thursday, to think about Thursday being on a Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. See you then. Take care. Bye.